Hello there, I'm the base manager and welcome back to Space Engineers. Now, today, before we start the episode, let me just tell you one thing in this episode. My voice is going to sound a little bit off. You might hear the occasional cough here and there. Uh, a little bit sick, winter flu and all of that. But yeah, I will do my best to edit all those moments out of the video, but if I am on a 5-minute rant and then I have a cough attack, well, some of that will have to stay in the video because my editing skills are not that great. Also, in between episodes, as usual, I did my little bit of grinding, and this time, instead of gathering resources, was actually connecting the logistics grid all the way over here to the hangar. Let's take a look. I connected the logistics to our parking spot, to our parking floor, I mean, right here. You can see the connection over there. And I took advantage of that and I started the connection between the parking spot over there and the hangar bay over here. Obviously, still not finished. This is going to take a little bit of time. It's going to be done slowly and steadily throughout the episodes. Also, I parked the exploration vehicle on the Firefly spot because, well, we have logistics, which means we can recharge the fuel tanks over there, and the Firefly being the most useful vehicle that we have in our flying arsenal, well, it's going to stay out here because I'm constantly using it during my grinding session. But all of the grinding sessions are for one purpose, and so that we can build stuff while we are actually in the middle of an episode, right? So this time, I was thinking, well, we have discovered... Get out of here. We have discovered that ice asteroid over there, as you can see. We discovered plenty other asteroids, but that one is the important one. We need to start thinking about making an outpost base in space where we can resupply our vehicles without having the need to come all the way to our base. Especially because gathering fuel in the planet is a lengthy task, given that I have to go grab the ice in this crate, bring the ice all the way over here to have it processed. I believe I have like 20% fuel in tanks. Just take a look at that. Yeah, 15% fuel, as you can see. Going to take a little bit of time, and our vehicles would... I'm not going to drop that on my face, I don't know. And the flying vehicles that go into space would be better served just resupplying over there where there is of ice and process those materials on site. So, for that, we need a colonization vehicle. This colonization vehicle is going to be most useful to our endeavors in this playthrough, as that is not going to be the last base that we build by any stretch of the imagination. We need a way to colonize different asteroids, like for example, let's say that I want to build a small mining base on the uranium asteroid. It would be nice to have a vehicle that would support us on that. So, I was thinking, could equip a vehicle with one of these, an assembler, with some speed modules, just to have it work a little faster. One of these, a basic refinery. If you can fit these two things into one vehicle, we'll be most happy, because this is going to allow us to process materials in space, and this is going to allow us to process said materials into useful components. Build our base. So, with that in mind, we are going to be forced to build a large grid vehicle for this, which is going to be interesting to say the least. How am I gonna do this? That's a very interesting question. Well, I don't think this is going to be pretty. Just saying right off the bat, I don't think this is going to be the prettiest vehicle that I have ever done, but it's going to be useful. That's the important part. We are also going to make it a hybrid, hydrogen/atmo thrusters vehicle, so that we can actually use it in the planet. Let's say that we want to make a base somewhere else, planet. for whatever reason, well, we have a vehicle that really is going to help us do that. So, with that in mind, and as per usual, time to first get the chassis rolling so that we... Okay, so that we can actually put the stuff on top of the chassis and then think about a general shape that we want to give to our vehicle. Okay, my friends, so chassis-wise, we are going to go for a... I'm going to try and make it as small as possible. But in here, we have everything that we are ever going to need. We have 3 small hydrogen tanks, small in large grid, which means they are pretty big, they carry a lot of fuel. We have 1 small oxygen tank, we don't need that much oxygen. We're going to have 4 small storages for things right here. The basic refinery, assembler. We then are going to proceed by anywhere. Oh yeah, the O2H2 generator, an hydrogen engine, and 4 batteries. I think that this covers all of our needs when it comes to production, storage, and power production as well. So, other than that, well, we just have to strap in a bunch of engines to this thing, a cockpit, and make it fly. Because, yeah, going to be that simple. So, yeah, now I just have the enviable task of welding all of this. So, please excuse me for a moment or two while I take care of that task. Alright, my friends, the core... Oh, take it easy, take it easy, okay, let's try this again. Nice. The core has been welded, we now have everything ready to go. We just need to start thinking about how we are going to put the engines on this thing. Shouldn't be that difficult. Just going to put a couple of engine clusters on the side. We have plenty of ports to do that. Another engine cluster on the back. Going to be it. Nothing super fancy. To this craft, I'm going to add a cockpit instead of making like a bridge. Just going to add a regular cockpit to this bad boy. Probably an industrial cockpit because are the ones I like the most. Like cockpits. In any case, I still have to decide where I'm going to put that. Probably on either side, as per usual. Now, one of the things, while I was welding, I was thinking about something. In space, the asteroids have the resources on the surface, so it would probably not be a terrible idea to add a small crane to this, like just, how should I put it, like a rotor or an hinge, a couple of pistons that will allow us to pack the crane in the ship and then deploy the crane whenever we want to mine something. Something that just goes like, you know, 2 or 3 pistons deep into the resource node. It's probably going to go a long way to fetch us some materials in space, even though we only have a small refinery which is going to take forever to process those materials. At least those materials are going to be processed over time, and we are going to have access to something. Probably also going to do that as well. Little crane. I don't think we need anything fancy for this thing. We only need it to perform the task of colonization. We can achieve that very easily with what we already have. So, with that in mind, it's time for me to start thinking on how am I going to add these bad boy engines to the craft, because as you can see, these are truly bad boy engines. They are freaking-normous. I think that when it comes to atmospheric engines, I'm only going to the regular ones, and I'm not going to the large atmospheric thrusters. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction using these ginormous things, although we can always put them pointing downwards to give us some lift. We are high in the mountains, probably going to need. But other than that, I don't think we are going to get fancy with this. Oh well, my friends, the ship is starting to take shape. If we take a look at this, it's looking magnificent. I have several engine clusters. I have the back cluster over here. We are only gonna have two thrusters as propulsion. That bothers me a little bit, but it was what I could fit in here, so that is going to be it. Atmospheric thruster-wise, we have 4 of them pointing backwards, or it's forwards, depending on your perspective, of course. I also have several atmospheric thrusters pointing sideways, one right there, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to add it before I forget it. I have the tendency to one right here. There we go. On the side. Right there. Next. Things to do. There we go. But yeah, oh, I don't have any braking thrusters. Damn it. I have that right now. There we go. But yeah, now when it comes to lift, I'm going to have 8 atmospheric thrusters. Take care of that for us. I'm going to assume that 8 is good enough. I have 2 right there, 2 on the other side, right there, 2 on the other side. Now in space, it doesn't really matter how many hydrogen thrusters we have pointing down and up. It's 0 gravity, so it's fine. But still, I kinda wanted to add a few, because let's say that I come back to the planet and I fill this up to the brink with materials. We're probably going to need those hydrogen thrusters to give us a little bit extra lift, otherwise we are not going to get out of here. We're going to get stuck on it.
Energy low.
Susan, you're so annoying. Disregard Susan, okay? Don't pay attention. Now, as I said, I kind of wanted to make a crane, and I'm going to do it right there. That's why I placed a conveyor junction right there, so that we can place the rotor. This is probably going to be comprised of, let's see, I'm going to need advanced rotor. Hopefully the game allows me to place it. There we go. We're going to need an advanced rotor, right? Going to lock. Then on top of that, we are going to need also going to. There we go. This hinge is going to help us pack the crane in place. So given the position of this thing, I'm not even going to need a crane. I don't even a hinge. I need a hinge over here. No. But what we do need, however, is the conveyor junction over here, and then we are going to need a piston to clear out the ship, right? You want to this piston to extend further than the thrusters. I'm pretty sure it's going to extend all the way up to 6 blocks. So if we go over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is as far as the piston is going to extend, which is good enough for me. Now, on the top of the piston, we are going to want hinges. These hinges, come on, thank you, hinge lock this, please. No? Okay then. Probably forgot one of the parts, but in any case, those hinges are the thing that are actually going to articulate the crane, so that we can fit the extending part underneath this piston. We are going to keep this piston probably extended. We then use the hinges to the remaining pistons retracted underneath and tucked close to the ship. That way it is less likely to get shot off. Now, another thing that we can do, that given that we have a conveyor junction right there, and over here, but screw it, there is better, we could put a turret on it. If I still have turrets on an hotbar, I don't think I do. Okay, so now with Susan satisfied, shouldn't be bothering me anytime soon. I will have to start welding all of this because I want to cover this part with a few plates. I don't think I'm going to cover the entire ship. For example, the batteries, they are quite resistant blocks. They can get shot a few times, not a major concern. This thing, however, uh, this thing carries fuel. It can get shot a couple of times, no problem, but the problem is if it gets shot more than a couple of times, it will then explode, taking everything with it. It's going to cause a chain reaction, because this is going to explode the other hydrogen tanks, which are going to explode other parts around them, which are going to explode other parts around them. That's just the way things work around here. So because we want to avoid said chain reaction, I'm actually going to armor up this part over here. Like I said, the rest of the craft doesn't really need a lot of armor. Most of the blocks are pretty resistant, even if a battery or a conveyor gets shut off. Well, I mean, a conveyor would be bad, because then we would lose braking thruster, but still it wouldn't be critical. I still would be able to find a way to fix it after the combat would be done. But in any case, yeah, time to start. Oh boy, this is going to take a while. Alright, my friends, that was a lot of welding, but the most expensive and difficult part to weld is already done. As you can see, all the engines are done, even our crane is almost started. I added a few more engines on the back just to give us a little bit more propulsion should we need to run away from anything in space. I also modified the crane a little bit. Hopefully this is enough clearance that we are not going to be summoning the forces of Clang, but taken, yeah. Just for safety, let's raise that rotor just a tad bit. That way, once we rotate, it should not clip in this conveyor junction over here. In fact, I might even just change that conveyor junction for a elbow, just to give us a little bit more room. But in any case, the crane is going to be quite simple. First, we have this rotor, right, which is going to take the crane out of its stowing position to either one of the sides where the resource nodes should be located. Then we have this rotor and this hinge right here. This probably I'm going to second one, probably. Yeah, I'm going to need a second hinge because the objective would be to fold this 90 degrees, right? Rotate that rotor and have the crane stowed side by side with the extended piston, because we cannot, well, I mean, we could go up, but we have a turret on the way. Maybe that turret is going to be relocated somewhere else. That's probably for the best, because it's a little okay. But still, I would rather keep it in there, because it is the tallest point of our craft, and so it is less likely to shoot you know, any of our blocks while trying to target an enemy. But well, I still need to see if an extended piston is enough space to have two retracted pistons plus a drill on the top. If we can fit all of that, not touch the Gatling turret, we'll keep the Gatling turret over here. However, if we can't, we'll have to send it somewhere else. So with that in mind, let me just complete the crane so that we can add a freaking cockpit to this thing, charge it with a little bit of ice and hydrogen, just send it into space. So yeah, time to do more welding. Well, for science I'm going to try something, because I could not build the drill if the Gatling turret was in place. So I raised this hinge a little bit, and now I kind of want to see if it is going to fit. Let's take a look. See if I can put it down and stow it without destroying the the turrets. Well, I mean, I think it fits just like... yeah, like, no. Nope. Nope. Big nope. Big freaking nope. What if I come over here? If this... Much can I displace this rotor? Displace it by a little bit. Will you have any problems now, good sir? It would appear that it's going to have a little bit of problems, apparently. And there we go, my friends. The crane has been welded. Pretty sure that 2 pistons is more than enough to cover the height of the vessel, plus a little bit of mining. We don't need to go ultra deep. We can always move the rotor a little bit and mine something, you know, another part of that specific node. Now for the turret, like I said, I really wanted to keep it over here, but we could not fit the turret plus the drill over here. So I just added another conveyor junction over there, and now we have a turret. Now let's just double check to see if that turret is pulling ammo from the containers. So let's see, I believe it's 25 something. Do you have anything in a cargo container? We have one box of ammunition. I'm going to take like this. Okay, should be more than enough for us, for our need space. That, and there it goes. There it goes. And of course, one of my neighbors decided to start banging on the walls, because it would not be a vacation day if my neighbors did not decide to do some construction, obviously. But in any... Ouch, don't do that. That can be dangerous. But in any case, my friends, the ship is almost functioning. Every moving component is done. I need to weld a little bit more of armor in this area, at least to cover up... the bottom is covered already. Just need to cover up the top, because we still can see one of the hydrogen tanks right there. We don't want that thing to explode. Just let me, like, I misplaced one drill. Okay, the drill fell on top of this and blow up 2 hydrogen engines and 2 atmospheric engines and 2 atmo thrusters. Okay, and a bunch of batteries and this. Let's just say it blew up a bunch of stuff just having a frame drop on this. So I can't even imagine what would happen if we got shot over there. Yeah, that was not fun, I admit, but oh well. In any case, now let me just weld a few more blocks when it comes to armor, so that I can start thinking about where I actually want to put the cockpit, because we need to pipe cockpit. After all, we are going to be in space, so we want our cockpit to have oxygen, right? Let's take a look. I said I wanted to use... Really? Okay, so you only have 2 options. Fine, I suppose. Okay, that is not exactly ideal, but in any case we can always, like, for example, put the cockpit over there, even though it's going to block our view a little bit. We'll have to find a place for this. Yeah, just give me a moment while I think about the positioning of my cockpit. I didn't leave myself a lot of options. I could put it right there, but it would not look that good. Suppose I will have to think about it a little bit. Alright, my friends. The ship is now complete. Well, at least phase 1 of the build, of course. Oh, stay talking now, huh? Oh well, it can be missing 1 plate. I'm not too concerned about that. So I decided to go for the cockpit over here. Although it's not the best looking of places, it has an advantage. We are next to the connector. So if we decide to go for a first person dock, we have, you know, a good line of sight. Now, when it comes to the connector, I place the connector on a hinge because, well, we might want two different configurations to dock the ship in place. This ship is not going to be, you know, docked all the time. Most of the time is going to be supported by its landing gear, which I try to bury it a little bit into the ship because I think this thing is just huge. I don't like how the large grid landing gear looks. I think it's too big, but oh well, doesn't really matter. Just buried it, not look as ugly. But in space, right, we might not want to dock the ship like this, right? We might want to have, let's say, a conveyor line like this, right? And then at the end we have the connector. We approach the connection point via the front. Oh boy, I already had to stop myself from talking 2 times, but this time was for a sneeze. So, how would this work? We would do something like this, right? Go. We would have the connector pointing forward, which is also the direction I'm going to leave it at most of the time. Right now I probably will want to connect the vessel to our main grid just to resupply it with some ice. I think that might be a good idea, but pretty much the theory would be to connect like this. If we have a sleeve of not belts but conveyors, right? Our engines should not burn them because they are over where the line of conveyors would be. Would be able to connect much easier to the main grid in space without having to do complicated maneuvers around our large grid, which could result in us colliding with something, because this vessel, as you can see, it's pretty, well, it's pretty big in comparison to the other vessels. For a large grid, it is actually pretty small, and that was actually the objective, because I wanted something small, compact, that could get the job done, but no, I didn't want to go for a extremely large ship because that would be very expensive, and right now we are riding the line where we are about to run out of resources because, well, this just took so many resources, right? I didn't want to do more grinding. I already had done till this point, so I think this is going to be it's going to be it. I may be just going to add 1 or 2 more blocks of armor around here, but other than that, we are well, we are close to the testing stage. I'm just going to turn on all the atmospheric thrusters so that I can disconnect it from the main grid. I'm going to use the Firefly to collect our crate and put it somewhere else. Might just try to dock this thing to our main grid. Alright, my friends, all the atmo thrusters have been turned on. We are ready. You guys saw that, right? I saw a red marker just now. Whatever. The enemies are getting closer to our location. I'm not too pleased on that. So far, we have been living a peaceful existence, but clearly we won't have that for very long. I should probably arm my ice base, but that's not what we are here to discuss. Well, what we are here to discuss is, will the ship fly on atmos thrusters alone? Well, I saved the game just in case it is not going to. So this is going to be fun. It would appear that just barely this thing flies. Barely. Of course that we... Oh! Again, you guys saw that? Ooh, and it's close to my ice base. I really don't like that. Really don't like that at all. But, oh well. As we can see, it flies. And as we can see, we probably should go into our thingy over here. Control panel, distance, tux, share inertia, hinge, bam bam, share inertia. This one is the one connected to connector, I'm pretty sure. Just double check. Double check that. Yeah, it is. Okay, so now, yeah, it doesn't wobble as much. Cool, so the ship flies. Kinda flies, you know. Slowly, but it does fly, so we can get by on atmospheric thrusters alone. So if we charge this with some hydrogen, we could technically get into space, and I really would like that because well, the first thing I'm going to do is stop by the ice asteroid to refill our storage with a lot of ice, where we can, so that we can process it into more fuel for the craft. Now let me just park this thing, because as we could see, we have like 10 minutes worth of power, so it will not. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! The engine is stuck, guys. And the vessel is tilting right in front of my eyes. There is probably forces here that are making this happen. Whoa, take it easy, bro. Whoa, Jesus, this thing is actually pretty maneuverable for such a large craft. Okay, should take that into consideration. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Success! Yes, I can't believe it. Unfortunately, now everything is turning on, which is just redonkulous. God damn it. Let me take care of that. Unlock. Let's pull up a little bit. And let me just do a few control groups. Alright, my friends, so now that control bar looks much better with the engines and batteries and all the stuff that we actually need. Cool, I'm quite happy, although I think the reason for this vessel to be tilting is because, well, the atmospheric thrusters are right there, and the center of mass should be somewhere around here in this connection, so this thing is not exactly centered, which is unfortunate, because I'm not going to deconstruct a bunch of stuff just to move the atmospheric thrusters a little bit. Yep, nope, I'm just going to deal with it. Yep, just going to deal with it. Now, like I said, I'm quite worried about that pirate signal that we have been getting every so often. I don't know what they are doing in here. This is my territory. They probably they didn't get the memo, but a tad bit upset about that. I should probably one day take a look at that, but that day is not today, because today is all about getting this thing into space. What? Knock it off, please. Okay, you wanna be like that? You wanna be like that? Okay, there you go. See what happens. Well, the game is clearly not happy with what the hell are we doing, because just look at the monstrosity. Like, I hear this noise, right? You can hear like wheels rolling. And I'm like, don't you tell me that I have one vehicle loose in my parking spot about to crash against something. Give me an ear to investigate, and I verify that the monstrosity is feeling a little bit, shall we say, under the weather. Just look at this, all shaky. It's not because of the drills. I checked that. So I really don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, my friends, there we go. Recharge. Off. Stockpile. Off. I said stockpile. Off. Okay. Wrong thingy. Let me search for, I believe, this one, colonization ship, hydrogen tanks. Stockpile on off. Yo. I pressed the wrong one while I was setting up my hotkeys. There we go now. We have hydrogen thingy off. First we are going to go purely on atmospheric thrusters. Atmo engines on. Disconnection in 3, 2, 1, and I just remembered I probably... Nah, this is just a test flight. I'm not going to take materials with me. We are disconnected. And now we should soon start moving towards space. Here we go. Now this thing is very slow on atmospheric thrusters alone. But, well, we were not exactly counting on this thing being a Ferrari now, were we? Friends, I'm coming in for a land as careful as I possibly can. There we go. We are now landed, which is just fantastic. Now just give me a moment to set up the crane controls so that we can mine some ice. Okay, so we do have contact now. Fan-freaking-tastic. Let's start by collecting a little bit by doing some scraping. Then once I can't scrape anymore, I'll just push the piston into the resource node. Well, not the resource node, in this case, into the ice, and collect a bunch that way. But yeah, I noticed that the crane is taller than the vessel, and because of that, we are going to have some difficulty gathering resources, at least until I get used to it. And all I have to do is park a little bit far away from the resource node. Giving it an angle is going to be all that it takes to collect the resources that we need. And let's grab as much ice as we can. That ice is surely being processed into hydrogen and oxygen for us. We go over here into our panel. We could see that we have ice inside of the oxygen generator, which is amazing. And some of our cargo containers are starting to get filled up with that stuff, which means we are going to have extra fuel to go. Now, the cool thing about this vessel is that, truth be told, we don't need to go back to the planet if we don't want to. I'm going to go back eventually, but for example, I could just hop into a go like this. I'm pretty sure I have an iron asteroid somewhere around here. Yes, we have. think I had another one. This one. Doesn't really matter. We have an iron asteroid, right? Which is 50 kilometers from here, but in space 50 kilometers is just 5 minutes. Right, fuel-wise it doesn't really matter, because we just need to point that way, thrust a little bit, cut off the brakes, and let lack of gravity do its thing. Right, I think we already collected all the ice that we are going to get. Let's retract our crane, stow it away. Engine noise changed for some reason. In any case, let's stow our crane away. Let's go collect a little bit of iron. That way we'll have the resources that we need to start building a facility in here. Beautiful. With the crane stowed away, it is now safe to turn on the engines once again. Let go of the parking brake. And start moving towards the iron asteroid. I think that it would be a good idea to go there and collect some resources. I would like to build something while I'm already in here, you know, even though I didn't bring anything. The fuck are you doing? Could you please stop? Thank you. I know that you are slightly heavier now, but still, goddammit, you don't need to behave like this. In any case, as I was saying, my friends, I'm going to go over there into that iron asteroid. I'm going to collect some materials, and then I'm going to make my way back here. Although I really don't understand what the hell is going on with the vessel, because I give it a little bit of side thrust, you know, just to stabilize it, and it just goes. It's like the inertia dampeners are off, but they are not. Oh well, I'll just figure it out as I go. Alright, so we are closing in on that iron deposit. I knew I had another asteroid in, yeah, because this one was far closer than that one. I now just need to find a good parking spot for this, because this asteroid appears to be quite jagged, without a lot of good places to land such a vessel. And there we go. I think I didn't crash against anything. Did I? Just barely crashed. Oh boy. No damage? No damage. Okay, that's what I like to see. Now it is time for me to deploy the crane, and I think I have parked myself a fair distance away, where the crane is actually going to hit this iron deposit. And here we go, my friends. We are now collecting iron resources, which is going to be just fan-freaking-tastic. If we go over here, as you are now collecting that sweet iron and even a little bit of stone to be processed into other material. Let's see, refinery, there it goes. The refinery is now processing stuff. We are going to collect as much as we can. Then we need to decide where we are going to create our resupply station. I would like to hear your opinion. I think that it would be a good idea to establish it in a ice asteroid, but at the same time, if we go into an iron-rich asteroid, it would also speed up the process considerably. So there is always those 2 points to take into consideration. Given that now we have a billion resources available to us, all we need to do is extend that crane and collect said resources. It's all about choosing a location. Now, I think I went a little bit overboard on the ice. All my cargo containers are stuffed with ice. That's a little bit too much. I wasted a few resources doing that. I didn't know my cargo containers were all full, but that's the risk you go through when you build. You don't build enough cargo containers. I had 4 in here. I thought it was enough. Clearly, I was mistaken. But in any case, all that ice will soon be processed into hydrogen. Whatever we don't need, we just toss it out. We can come over here. It's going to take a little bit of time, but fortunately I can't do it like this, I think. And no, I have to put it in my inventory to Yeah, kinda sucks, but okay. But in any case, guys, this is all the time that I have for today. I'll be here to see your comments. Comes to the selection for our refueling station location. But for now, I think this is as far as we are going. With all of that said, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode, that you are enjoying so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. Meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye!